Today we are at the NFT Market Talk #1 with Button and I. Button, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks, man. Grateful to be here. Got my grifter vibes up, and I'm excited to. It's a fun little experiment. We're just testing it out, seeing how it goes, and we'll tell you guys what we're seeing in the market. So, Kucho, you want to start them off? Let them know what you're seeing with the price of cryptocurrency. This is going to be it's a monumental time in history with regards to Ethereum. But what's going on with Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Yeah, so we saw in the last few days, we saw quite a bit of a drop actually in prices on the crypto side, especially in Bitcoin and ETH. But now it seemed to have stabilized over the past like 24 hours. And actually, BTC, as you can see, BTC is up like about 1%, ETH is up about 2%. On the macro side, something that's not looking too good is that oil prices are again up quite significantly. So that's something that a lot of people are worried about. We've seen here in the US, we saw the consumer price index going down a little bit year over year, which made people very optimistic that the inflation seemed to have topped off. But now again, seeing oil prices going up on the macro side, it's not looking too good. And so it's something definitely to pay attention on. Like I said, crypto hasn't yet responded to it very negatively, but it definitely something that could happen. So something to keep our eyes on. In the long term, though, I think Button and I think we both agree that in the long term, like these dips could be really good buying opportunities.
Right.
If you believe in the future of these cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, we'll
Button,
see if it
what are your
dips.
thoughts?
I mean, I'm curious if we're going to see it dip. I'm watching what's going on with the timing of the Ethereum merge, and it's coming up. It's going to be here so soon. September 6th is when we're starting to see some actual like things change, and then it should all be completed by September 20th at the latest. So, how is the market going to react to that? How is it going to go as we plan? I really hope it does. It's going to be a good thing. But if it doesn't, it could also be a good buying opportunity for us to buy the dip a little bit and then set ourselves up so we can hopefully grab a couple NFTs at a discount in the future. But yeah, it's a lovely roller coaster we chose to hop on to, Cucho. I think it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's exciting too. But yeah, like you said, the ETH merge, a lot of people say this is like one of the biggest events in blockchain history. That it's going to be huge. It's planned for next month. So definitely was something to keep our eyes on. And it could have, huge impact on the pricing of crypto as well.
For
So
sure.
that was like the crypto macro side, but now let's look a little bit more specifically on the NFT sides. Something that we always like to look at is the daily NFT trading volume, particularly
Hmm.
on OpenSea. So if we look at it, it has been traded for about 16 million have been traded yesterday on OpenSea, which if we compare it to like the weeks before, it's pretty stable.
Yeah.
So of course, if you zoom out and look at the last couple of months, we saw very significant drops in terms of NFT trading volume. But now it seems to at least have stabilized around this range of 15 to 20 million. So that's something positive. People are still buying NFTs. There are a lot of people that have still cash on the side and are looking for buying opportunities.
Right. Yeah, I still think based on where the volume's at, you don't FOMO in. If you can, be patient and throw out some offers. Hopefully, someone will pick up on it and bada bing, bada boom, get a little cheap gift for yourself. Hopefully, it will go up in value too. So we'll see.
Yes, perfect. So now let's look at some specific collections. So these are the rankings of OpenSea in the last 24 hours. What we see is the Yuga Labs assets, which is something that we've seen actually for the past couple of months or so, that those are still some of the assets that are being traded the most.
Hmm.
On the other hand, what stands out, DGOTS, which is a Solana project, that one has been performing super well,
Crazy.
and has seen some pretty big gains in terms of their floor prices. Then on the art block side, there was actually a Fidenza sale yesterday. So Fidenza is one of the most established generative art projects
One of the
by
earliest
Tyler
ones
Hobbs.
too. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, Button.
One of the early ones. Legend. You got one of those pieces. You have one of the most incredible art pieces in Web3 for sure. So when he's coming back hard like this, it's like we're gonna see some movement.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, like you said, like generative art project, one of the most established ones, as well as has also historical significance by being one of
Look
the
at that
earliest
price
ones.
right there. You see that? How much was that sold for? 100,
It was
150 ETH?
sold for 150 ETH, which is
Yeah.
about $250,000. So
Damn.
that's a
One day,
good sale.
boys.
It's
One
a
day.
beautiful piece though, right?
Generative art, if you don't know about it, I mean, we'll probably talk about it a little bit in the near future, but it's such a mind puzzle that I love art that makes me think, and generative art takes me there. So, I mean, something like a squiggle, who would have thought that there's so much deeper meaning in it? I absolutely love it.
Very true. I think it's something that I personally have been underestimating a little bit. Like I don't have made any investments in generative art, but it's
Right.
something that I've learned. I think especially over the past half a year or so to appreciate more. So definitely an area that I've been paying more attention to. And
Yeah,
then
I hear there's some deals on generative art on Tezos. I haven't got into it too much, but I definitely want to get more generative art. And I think if anyone's curious and wants to learn more about how generative art works, or uh, how why is something as simple as a squiggle going for that price? Read into the squiggle and learn about why they all look different and how that coding translates to that art image. And once you get that little taste, then you have so much more appreciation for this Fidenza that's going for 150 ETH. So I think that's a really good starting point. Maybe we'll have to do a video to like really break that down, because it is amazing. It is amazing. I can't emphasize it enough. It's Chromie Squiggles. I love them. One day.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's still something we see. We see some of the market attention in the NFT space go back to art. I think a lot of people have realized that with like these PFP collections, right, that have been blowing up for the last year, what comes with that is a lot of execution risk as well of the team
Mm-hmm.
behind those projects, right? So it's a lot about, hey, are they actually able to bring their visions to life and execute on their roadmap? But then on the other hand, you have art, and art is just art, right? So if
Right.
art, if the artist or creator behind it just gets more established as an artist, as well as like the Fidenza we're just looking at, collections that have a lot of historical significance, like those just naturally, that historical significance is just naturally gonna grow as the NFT space gets bigger, right? And
Yeah.
the more projects there are, the more brands are formed, the more people enter the NFT space, those historically significant collections will always gain more relevance. And
Yep.
so I think that's something where we saw more volume actually flow into these more art native projects as well, right?
Right.
CryptoPunks have been performing really well in the bear market as well,
Yep.
because there's the like it's the same. Like nobody really expects much utility with CryptoPunks.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just wants them, to be the punks, and
Mm-hmm.
they are the OG, of which basically all PFP collections are based off, and they just will increase in historical significance, I think.
Yeah, we'll see where the price goes. I think that they're very similar in price point to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which, I mean, it's amazing. Yuga Labs getting evaluated at $4 billion, and here we are with CryptoPunks, and they're at the same price points. It's a special time, and it's owned by it's Yuga Labs owns Larva, CryptoPunks and Meebits. So man, what a boss move! That's like Nike acquiring Adidas. So yeah, I'm very yeah, I think if you asked me which PFP I would have if I could have any, I would probably go punk right now. I know I got a lot of ape friends, but man, I gotta the punks, man. I mean, it's the OG, it's the art, it's the history. You got to go for it.
I 100% agree with that. Perfect. So I think one thing we should also be talking about, because Button and I, we both made a recent NFT that we
Yep.
minted.
Yep.
And I mean, we don't want to specifically say, oh, this is like a great NFT to buy. That's
Nope.
not what we're saying, but we think it's helpful for us to just share a little bit more about our rationale for why we minted this NFT collection, and maybe that's going to be helpful for you.
Yeah,
So,
I'm only
but do
going
you
to
want to
say it
share a little bit
once.
more about this?
Yeah, I'm only going to say it once on this channel. Not financial advice. You already know that. I'm never going to say it again because you know that we're not telling you to go buy this. We're just explaining why we bought it. And I think it's got a lot of interest. It's got a lot of interesting, unique utility. So Flips Gold Pass, there's two primary things that you're receiving from this. This is a four founders, two of which are quite well known in the art space. One is an artist, OSF, and the other is an incredible art, NFT collector called Mando. And they put out together the Flips Finance with two others. And Flips Finance, it's a pass that enables you to utilize this online software to analyze what's going on with the crypto market in different types of ways. It looks very similar to like a day trading type of platform, so that you can like see the graphs, do comparisons, see what changes are occurring that could be indicators of where the price is going to go next. The other utility that they provide that I'm really, really excited about is I'm going to get access for the first time to getting these reports that are written by, I believe it's 8 different researchers. They put together significant reports, like full on write ups explaining what's going on with specific projects that may be trending or may have something relevant in the news at the moment. So yeah, Kucho's pulling up right now. These research reports, they're through the Degen Mint Pass, and if you have the Flips Gold, you also get access to them. Hence why it says Degen's at the top. And so this one's talking about other side. You can see that it starts off with the overall information, the broad statistics on the right hand side, and then as you scroll down, like Kucho, just show them how many pages this is of the analytics filled with graphs, write-ups. If someone wants to learn about other side land, why is it selling for 1.58? What is the what are people expecting to get with it? What are the different attributes that are associated with it? What is the story? What is the plan? What is the vision that Larva Labs is or Yuga Labs is putting together with other side? This would be the best summary. It just would require you to take the time to read it. And so you get approximately, I think it's 300 of these reports every year, and it's a lifetime pass. And so when you're looking at the Degen's Mint Pass, which Kucho actually was the one who found it very early, it's providing you with access to these reports for a lifetime. And then so is the Flips Gold Pass, but the difference, a couple different factors are the Flips Gold Pass. Not only does it give you that extra utility to the online software, but it also, there's only a limited amount of them, and there's a maximum amount of possibly 555, but they did not mint out. And if you look at the secondary sales of the Flips Pass, it's really not doing so far off from the mint price, which was at 0.3. So yeah, Kucha, if you want to show them where the Flips Gold Pass is on the secondary market, there's a few like important things. One is at the top, you'll see that we're looking at only 400 items have been minted. And if they don't mint out completely, I believe in the next 24 hours, the remaining will be burned. So there's a possibility that there will only be 400 items. I love small supply. So I'm happy about that. I hope that, honestly, I hope less people mint it and just buy it off the secondary market. Let's keep the supply low. Floor price almost identical to the mint price. Notice the lowest or the best offer is 0.27. So close. I mean, literally, what are we looking at? Like a 20, 30, 40 bucks difference between the two of them. So I think it's maybe you could throw in an offer. Maybe you can see where it goes. I'm curious how many will be minted. And I do appreciate all the benefits from it. Hope Kucho, if you get a chance, I think it'd be cool to show them what the Flips software looks like, because it is, honestly, it's visually appealing, and then it also provides a lot of capabilities to enable you to mess around with it and manipulate it in ways to find the information that you're looking for specifically. So I have to say, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of it, and I look forward to going on this journey with you, Kucho. We'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I think you said it all about the project. So I think in something Button and I mean, we've both been around in the space for over 1.5 years now. So we've seen that we both entered on Nifty Gateway, and that bubble burst a little bit.
Yep.
And then all the market attention moved away from art more toward the PFP collections. And then we now have a little bit also that same thought, like, what if right now we're in a bear market? What if when the bull market comes back again, that market attention might shift away a little bit from PFP as use cases to some other areas? And so we're trying to make like this is our personal investment strategy to make some smaller bets on like other use case of NFT. And I think this is a really cool use case, right? On one hand, like having this premium access to a data platform, as well as having access to these research reports, where in like 10 minutes of reading you can get a really good idea of basically almost any NFT project out there, right? So I think it's immediate utility, and it's just gonna grow. And it's something that I'm already using now. So I think it's really cool. And I just pulled up the flips finance. So that's something you can see. It's really interesting. Let me pull up. Yeah, actually, let's look at Mutant Apes. So this is Mutant Apes, and you can see just the development of the floor price. As we know, it hasn't been looking too good. If we zoom out a little bit, right? We had like that peak, and then we had those significant drops, but now at least have been stabilizing. But then
Yeah.
also you have like other interesting graphs. This is actually something I did a tweet about yesterday, which is that something that's really positive from my perspective is that in the last months, for a lot of collections, we've seen actually a significant increase in holder distributions.
Right.
And I mean, if you personally collect NFTs, it's way easier to sell NFTs if you own multiple of a collection. And if you
Absolutely.
just own one, and it means that if you sell that one, you're out of like the collection, you're kind of like don't hold any NFTs anymore of that brand. Like that's a really difficult thing to do.
For sure.
So for me, seeing like the increase in holder distributions on many collections, it's something positive, but it's something I think that's not going to play out immediately. But in the long run, I think it's going to be really positive. Like as trading volume picks up again, I think now, and a lot of NFTs have been going more into diamond hands, and people will be a lot less inclined actually to sell them off. But do you have any thoughts on that?
I 100% agree with everything you just said. I think in general, with at least with PFP projects, we're looking for ideally around a 50% distribution at least. So if there's 10,000 items, we want to see the items in at least 5,000 different wallets. Some projects have even better distribution. I believe the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs have it in like a 63% distribution. So yeah, the more distributed, the better, because 100%, if you have only one, it's really hard to sell. And two, it could also be that if you have one in your wallet, it is your identity. I mean, you're looking at my grifter, you're looking at the reptile with Cucho. Like that is the identity of us. And if you have it as your own personal identity, it's way harder to want to sell it. And so if you have like three or four of them, it's like, you know what, I could switch from my grifter to something else, or Cucho could go to a different clone or whatever. And it's like, who cares? But if you got one and that's your identity, then you ain't listing it. Then the floor, you won't see competitions on the floor where they're trying to beat each other to get their items sold quick. And that's just a good thing for people who are holders of it, so that it continues to see the floor get risen to a point where you got that opportunity of grabbing that bag. So we'll see where it goes.
Perfect. I think we covered a lot. So yeah,
We did.
we're gonna do these market talks. So just to give you like a state of the market, we talk about what happened in the last 24 hours in terms of news, in terms of trading volume, projects that are blowing up, projects that are going down, and everything else that we think has an impact on the NFT space. So yeah, and Button and I, we're also building the HODL community. So it's a community of people that have a really long-term mindset and how they look in the NFT space. We have a lot of collectors in there. We have some artists in there, and a lot of other experts. So it's linked below. So if you want to jump into that and are curious about that community, feel free to jump in. And yeah, I think that's it. Button, anything else? Any final words from your end?
Appreciate you all joining us on this experiment. It's been fun, Cucho. We're definitely going to be doing videos in this format. We'll see what we got a couple planned out, so we'll let you guys know when we're doing another one. I appreciate you, Cucho, for hosting this, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon.
All right. Cheers, everyone. Have a